This podcast is brought to you by State of Mind, where we discuss all things mental health. Our first episode will focus on meditation techniques and how and why they can be really important in keeping a healthy mind. Our resident meditation expert Rohan is here to tell us all about different techniques and methods we can take. So since Rohan's kind of like the expert here, do you want to introduce the podcast into what we're going to talk about today?
Yeah. So firstly, before starting, I'll promise you all guys that there's something new people will learn about meditation after this podcast.
Hey.
So the first thing is that meditation is something, that can be done by a mass audience. That is, it can be done by even the disabled. It can be done by heart patients. It can be done by actors. It can be done by literally anybody. So it's really universal in nature, and it's just that it's a very difficult task to do, as many know that mindfulness is a very easy word to say, but a difficult thing to do. So there is a spiritual guru in India called as Sadhguru, and he is very popular worldwide. And so he said that meditation is something that is not to do, but actually it's something to experience, because it's not a to-do list or something that we mark and say that it's done. It's like something that we need to experience. So here the spirituality comes into picture. Like many people say that meditation is spirituality, which is wrong. It's the experience of meditation which takes the form of spirituality, because spirituality is very deep in nature and you have to experience it. So for experiencing that, you need to first of all start doing the breathing techniques and all the things to focus your attention towards the mindfulness. So whenever we talk about meditation, it's always like people are very skeptical about the time or the duration in which they need to do this. So like some say it should last maybe 5 minutes or maybe 10 minutes. So according to my personal experience and according to all world the major world leaders who are in meditation, they all say that we need to start by doing at least 5 minutes. That is 5 minutes of just closing your eyes and having no thoughts. It's a very difficult thing to do, as I said earlier, but just try for 5 minutes. And it's like, a job, like you get a promotion when you are able to do the already task good. So like when you have done the 5-minute thing well over a week or say 2 weeks, then you can get promoted to say 10 minutes. You can have like a promotion of, of 5 minutes, and try doing it as much as possible.
Yeah.
So Rohan, when did you start meditating?
So like I started meditating actually two years back. So I got influenced by my father, because my father went through a lot of financial crisis with his business, and he had a lot of tough decisions to make. And during that time, to have the mindfulness, he started taking lots of meditation lessons and various meditation techniques, and he used to practice at home. So I used to see him and try to mimic him and try to playfully close my eyes and do it. But actually I was not knowing that actually I'm playing a part in mindfulness, and slowly it actually made me aware that it's not something a game or something. It's something difficult to do. And I still now I do not have expertise in meditation. I'm still trying to do, as there are so many thoughts that come in, but still trying to do, and it will take a long time to really be an expert in meditation. So as what people think that all Indians may be expert in meditation, maybe theoretical wise people are, but when it comes to practical, it's really difficult task to do.
So did you start it as a way of supporting your father, or did you just really want to try it yourself?
No, I just want I actually saw my father doing it, and I saw that actually he was getting certain results, and he was calm after the meditation, and he used to answer the questions nicely. And there used to be a particular aura that used to be positive around his talk. So I used to say that, okay, if something good is happening here, I think there must be something really good happening when we are doing it. So I try to just do it as a curiosity, that what really the experience is. And to my curiosity, it was like really, it was an enriching experience, but a very, as I say again and again, a difficult task to do, because now also I need to take out time for meditation. Is that you need to be really saying that I will do it today, because it doesn't happen. Sometimes you say that okay, you don't want to do it today. So
Yeah.
then I understood that even while you're sleeping, actually you're meditating, because if you do not have thoughts or something while you're sleeping, actually you're meditating. So I got to know that okay, so even if I'm not able to practice meditation so nicely, but still I'm able to get certain techniques in my sleep or my breathing techniques. I'm able to go towards the right path of meditation. And as said by many gurus, there are no right or wrong ways of doing meditation, because to get the right approach, it is according to your body and your mindsets, and it's and
You're right.
you can
I,
set it.
I didn't realize how many different ways there were to actually meditate. So I was thinking about it when I was doing my undergrad degree. Every Tuesday evening we used to do meditation, but it was like a progressive relaxation. So basically, you'd be lying down on the floor, and the instructor would tell you just to feel different parts of your body. So not actually touch it, but just try and feel the energy around certain points. So like your ankles, then move up to your knees, your hips, your arms, and you'd actually be falling asleep as you're doing it.
Oh no, that is a very like effective way. I've tried that before. Like, and the thing about it is, I find is, as Rohan said, with the whole there's so many different ways, and like different people react differently to different meditation techniques. Obviously,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
like you don't have to, just because you might be really 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 busy. Your schedule might be crazy. These are the very people who probably need to kind of practice meditation, and even things like mindfulness, are great tools to have in the back of your head. Like,
Mhm.
even if you're rushing around doing things all the time, you can still take that moment in your head to kind of relax and take in what you're actually doing. These are all really
Yeah,
effective tools. Like, we need to be utilizing these more on our day to day.
Yeah. But what you find as well is when you're doing things you enjoy, you're actually meditating. So for example, my friend likes fishing, but the reason he likes fishing is not actually because of the sport. It's because of the fresh air, the quietness, and listening to the water hit the rocks and stuff like that.
But yeah, 100%, 100%.
yeah.
I tried that when I heard it, and I'll be honest with you, that did not work for me. I was get, I was getting frustrated because the rod kept getting caught in the rocks, so I wasn't able to catch any fish or anything.
Yeah, I think the competitive side of me now will kind of be like, I came here to catch as many fish as possible. Like, why haven't I caught anything? It's been an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that
No,
one definitely
actually,
wasn't for me.
the position that you're referring to, that you're lying down and each parts of your body are healing, the ankles and the every body part is healing. It's actually a form of yoga. It's a type of yoga called as shavasana.
Huh.
It's like, it's a Sanskrit term, shavasana. Asan means a form, and shav means a literally like a dead object. So when we are lying, so we don't have, we just lie down without moving. So it's like literally a dead object. So that's why it's called shavasana. And we do it actually after all the yoga poses that we do to
Mhm.
heal and calm the all the bodies that have got benefits through all the other types of yoga postures. So it's actually done in the last, and it's like a special, like a person needs to guide you towards that. It has to be a 15-minute session wherein he needs to tell that now your ankles are healing, now your fingers are healing, and your bones are healing, each and everything, and every segment, it needs to be uh, told, like that it has to be a guided session. So Peter, you said that you did this, so did you have a guided session, or did you like so how did it happen?
So I don't really know how to describe it. This was a long time ago. So we had someone. It was a guided session, and we had someone talking to us in such a low voice and slow tone that everything just felt so relaxed. So often we'd start at the bottom of the body, so our toes, and we'd spend a few seconds or even up to a minute just trying to feel our toes without actually touching, and then we just gradually move up the body until you reach your head. But what I found was astonishing was you actually felt the different parts of your body when you were told to, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. I remember trying that with like I'd imagine a like an artificial ball of like energy coming from the ground all the way up from your feet, and you'd spread it out through your legs, through your arms, and up to your head. And it was just
Yeah.
this like, it was strange because it's almost you could feel the energy come up through your body, through your muscles. You know,
It's crazy.
it's so
Crazy.
relaxing. Like,
Going back to the yoga you were saying, just like there's different forms of meditation, there's loads of different forms of yoga. I mean, the gym that I work at offers yoga classes 2 or 3 times a week. But you're right, it's the fact that it's not even the physical exercise, it's just the breathing. That's what relaxes you, is the breathing.
Yeah, actually, so there are actually a lot of types of yoga, and you can't even imagine there are so many types of
Yeah.
postures. And like, I cannot give you a number, like it are like 50 postures or 100 postures. There are a lot of different types of yoga, and in them itself, there are a lot of different types of postures. So I don't know if you guys have heard about it. There is something called a Surya Namaskar. It's like the Surya is a Sanskrit word to a sun, referring to sun, and it is a posture actually to when the sun rises, you're doing that posture to heal your body in the morning for that, so as to do the routine tasks that you should do. So I think the Surya Namaskar is really works, like even if you do so there are around 12 postures in Surya Namaskars, and each posture has a particular emotion and has a particular way of doing it, and it is done in the morning. That's why it's called Surya Namaskar, and it's a morning yoga. So actually, if people do search in YouTube the Surya Namaskar, it will pop up, and it's actually very easy to do. Also, it's like hardly takes 5 minutes. It just takes like 10-12 seconds to do one round of Surya Namaskar, and like you can do it like as and when you get time, you can do it.
So why don't we talk about music?
music as a form of meditation.
So with meditation, there's often lots of different music in the background. But we all have different types of music we listen to. So Rohan, what kind of music would be the most popular, would say, in India for meditation?
So I don't know if you guys have come across the Indian classical music. So it's not the Bollywood. It's like the Indian classical music, like the authentic um,
Is it like the song you
Indian.
sang for us in this last semester?
No, that's the Bollywood song. That's not a meditation. So it's not a song that is used for meditation. So there are a lot of rags in Indian classical music. Rags are like a different types of compositions there, and we do use it for the meditation. So there are lots of different type of Indian classical music that have been composed for specifically for meditation, so that your mind is really focused in meditation. Because if you use a very fast music, it will really not work. For example, when you do Zumba, fast music
Yeah,
needs to be played
Yeah.
because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
really serves the purpose. But when you're doing meditation, when this mindfulness is to happen, then you have to use such a slow paced music, and for that, and there has to be a specific tone to that music also, because your mind is something that is very easily wandered in thoughts, and easily you can your meditation can break within 2 minutes if the music is not used properly. So when the music background music is used, it's actually a slow pace ragas, slow pace Indian classical music that will help to enhance the meditation, and it will lead you towards having no thoughts. So yes, as Peter says, music is really very important in meditation. Without that slow paced music, it's a little difficult to do meditation, and that's why many people do meditation with the slow paced music.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I have a question for you actually, as in, I mean, who better to know but yourself, but what do you think of this kind of, I suppose this like, it's almost like a trend now, but is there a wrong way to meditate? Is there a wrong way to like do yoga? And is it I suppose Western society and Eastern would probably be much different, you know, India and compared to here. How
Mm.
different is it? Like, are we doing it wrong here? Or I suppose, I don't know, just your opinion on that.
Yeah, actually, so the thing is that as I said it before, that there is no right or wrong way of doing meditation, but when we do yoga, the postures needs to be practiced uh, according to the way it has to be actually. So if you do not know those postures, you need to have guided session either through YouTube or through various other ways. You need to learn that posture first and then to do, because you can get as when you do yoga you have benefits, but when you talk about benefits, you have positive benefits and negative benefits. So if you do not do the postures properly, instead of your body healing, it will lead to negative impacts to your body. So always whenever you're doing yoga, it needs to be done right, because otherwise those energy will not enter your body and will not heal the organs that it should heal. So firstly that, secondly, the trend that you're talking about, that the thing is that the Western people, they tend to think as yoga as a trend, or a yoga as a, something that is like famous or something. But I think it's like a daily routine activity, and if you think it as a daily routine activity, I think it will be a part of everybody's life. And truly now Western people are understanding what yoga is, and they are trying to learn through YouTube, and they are trying to learn through other technological platforms. They are trying to learn the postures and spreading that knowledge across people. So yeah, there is wrong ways of yoga, and there have been times where people have really dislocated their bones, or they have not been able to get the benefits of those yoga postures because they haven't done it right. So always I would say that you need to understand the right posture of yoga and then do it. Otherwise it's really of no use. You'll be wasting the time and there'll be no healing taking place.
So, so do you know the way the World Health Organization, they'd recommend a certain amount of exercise you do a week and a month or during the day? Would you would you have an idea on what do you think? How many times a week or month should people be trying yoga, for example, Rohan?
So yoga should be a daily activity. It's not something that you need to perform weekly or monthly. It has to
Yeah.
be daily, and daily you need to give it, say, an hour or so, where you will in that hour you'll practice different types of postures, different types of breathing techniques, and meditation techniques. So in that hour you're completely committed to that, and for that to work you need to do it daily. So for example, you need to set a pattern that from Monday to Sunday I'm not going to give a break to this, and I'm free from 8 to 9 in the morning, or I'm free from 6 to 7 in the evening, but I will do it that day. You need to do it every day for the benefit to come, because yoga is something that you need to do it in a uh, long journey. It's a long journey. So like Peter would know. So when people would come to your gym,
Mhm.
it's not something, a one day activity that they will get their abs. They have to do it in the long run.
So something I noticed around um, Ireland, and even, well, not even Ireland because I've not been living all over Ireland, but in terms of Limerick and Kerry, is I don't think yoga is actually promoted well enough. I don't think there isn't enough gyms that actually do yoga. You know, I just wonder would it be different in India, because the way you're talking, it's obviously a massive thing over there, but over here, the areas that it's done in, it's always popular, but it doesn't seem that there's enough going on.
But you know what? Even say like mental health obviously is a huge issue in Ireland. Like it always has been. But I
Massive.
mean, there's no emphasis put on things like meditation and mindfulness. Like a couple of years ago, I went through a pretty bad spot myself. Like, and it was kind of like it was kind of left on myself to kind of seek out these options, you know. And lo and behold, things like mindfulness, well, they nearly saved my life, you know. Not to the extent that the great people in Pieta House helped out, but I mean,
That's
it's kind of
inspiring, though. I mean,
changing your attitude and changing your kind of mindset is so important. Like because you can go to these kind of mental health like counselors and everything, and they're so great, but they're
yeah.
only often an hour or two at a time. So you do really need to actively help yourself do these
And
kind
if
of
that
things.
doesn't work, they'll tell you to go on pills and stuff, which isn't the best thing, is it?
That was well,
Yeah.
look, whatever works for people works, you know. I've no issue with anyone kind of doing whatever works for them, but I don't like how that was the
That's
first
it.
thing. And when I told them it wasn't working, they gave me stronger ones and
Really.
sleeping tablets. And I was like, there's a fundamental cause to this. It's like there's no point in keep inundating me with stronger tablets, like rather than just like root out the problem. Here's some tablets to cover it. I don't know.
Actually,
Um,
the thing that you're telling about this, they're giving you the harder tablets and everything to to get the mindfulness. Actually, that's the problem that our spiritual leader Sadhguru, that you all should even see in YouTube. It's SADH GURU. You should see the talks that he does. It's really very enriching. He says that half of the US population and UK population is under medication because they just do not want to accept that there is something other techniques for mindfulness.
Mm.
So though, like for example, he says that people like to commit their time for drinking, people want to commit their time for each and other activity, but when they say to commit not an hour but just 5 minutes for meditation, they try to make tantrums and they try to make reasons not to do it, because they know that it's a very powerful technique, but they know that's a long process, so they do not want to give in to that. It's something that to commit. And when you do meditation, and you will get fed up, doing meditation, because you will say that it's not working, because as I said to you before, it's not to do activity. It will not happen just in 5 minutes that you do everything is over, your worries are solved. You need to really commit to that, and over a long process, then only it happens. Like you would have heard Gautama Buddha, you would have heard about Buddha.
yeah.
Mm.
So when he started meditating, it took him years to get to the best of his meditation skills. Maybe he would have, in 6 months, he would have got to know what meditation is, but to reach the peak of meditation, it took him years. So it's really very difficult task. But as you say, in Ireland, even I find myself, people are the emphasis of yoga and meditation is pretty less according to what
We're not
other
patient
countries I
around here,
see.
are we? That's what it is. I mean, it's. I guess it just because we just don't see it as the norm. So when you don't believe in something, you're less likely to try it out, are you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
The way it is
there
around
yeah.
here.
That's
Yeah.
there.
yoga classes and stuff that go on around here, though, but I don't think people really do it in their own time.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, 100%. Like
my mom actually does yoga. She does a bit of it at home.
at home, that's
Yeah.
it. You need to be active in your efforts.
Yeah, yeah.
Go beyond the yoga classes. Actually, that is that. As Connor mentioned, that nobody is doing at their homes. It's that when you do the in the yoga classes, you need to replicate that same effort in the home. If you don't do that,
Mhm.
the you'll not be practicing the yoga postures, and your body will forget how to do that posture rightly.
Exactly. It's training the body, repetition. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
So
Uh,
actually, I came up with a very easy example through which actually the people will understand about meditation, because when I use very technical terms in meditation, people won't understand that. So I came up with a very easy example, even you guys will understand. When you consider a food dish, that is the Mexican rice platter. When you consider the food dish, it is actually very similar to meditation. That is, when we eat the Mexican rice platter, each layer has some different taste. That is, one layer of cheese, one layer of the spices, or one layer of the rice, and there are different layers to the platter. So similarly, when you get into meditation, you get different layers. Like in one layer, when you do it for 5 minutes, you will get some benefit. When you go to another layer, you will understand that you're getting a different benefit. So when you have to go very deep in
yeah,
each layers to really understand the
yeah.
intricacies of meditation.
Until you get that
So
yummy
the so
goodness
the
at the very bottom,
deeper so the deeper you go, the more benefits you're gonna get from it.
the more
Yeah,
delicious
and
it's gonna be.
Yeah.
yeah,
I,
and one
I
of the
won't lie, Rohan. You're after making me hungry for a rice platter as well.
no, and one of the another thing that I should mention is that as deep you go, people get actually scared that there is something very phenomenal happening.
So is
should I
it the
commit to it?
you're afraid to go out of the comfort zone? Is that it?
Yeah, you're very afraid to go out of the comfort zone because you're feeling something that you have never felt it. So you're feeling scared of that energy that, what if I commit but it doesn't happen? It's a constant scared things that you happen. But if you keep that away, within 2-3 days you will see that that fear will turn into something, that the fear will turn into something really very good for you, and it will turn into something very good, and you will feel that, thanks to my mind that I committed to it.
Yes, yes. I understand.
Well, guys, that was very interesting. Anything else to add, or
I'm enjoying that talk.
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Anything else anyone want to add? I think I used my undergrad experience. I used the fishing experience. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to think. I mean, I always listen to music every day. Now it wouldn't be peaceful kind of music, but all the time.
Yeah.
But it just but at the same time it helps me relax. Like for example, doing college work. Everyone has tough days where they don't feel like doing anything. For me, if I don't feel like doing this, I either go for a run or work out and just have music playing in the background and not get me in the phone for it.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
agree with you. It's music, like, I mean, it's kind of one that's more accessible to everyone,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing is that, when you say that in Ireland or some other countries, it's not, it's becoming a trend, but it's not becoming a daily activity. But the real reason behind that is that, people want to have just loud music, and meditation doesn't work with loud music. You need to get little away from the loud music and commit 5 minutes to a much more silent music, and commit to the meditation, and I think everybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That was a good chat, guys.
Yeah, that's a good chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant. Thanks very much, everyone, for listening to our podcast on this week's topic, which was meditation.
Mm-hmm.
So next week's is going to be, am I right in saying fitness?
I think that's the one.
Because
Yeah.
that ties in absolutely as well. That ties in, of course.
All part of it. Yeah. All part and
Yeah,
parcel.
brilliant. You even touched on
Thanks
it
a lot, guys.
previously today. So yeah, we're going to continue on with that next week. So thanks very much for listening, everyone.